Hey, thank you for checking us out this week on Convincing Idiots. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 153. Boy, do we have it in for you. Today, this week, it's just Brian and I. There's no Nick. Where is he? Listen, we might tell you. We have Barbie is the highest grossing movie for Warner Brothers. People are really mad about Bradley Cooper and his fake nose. Stay tuned to find out why. And then conspiracy theories. What are Brian and I's favorite? Do we, or do some work, some don't? Find out. And then in our main event, we talk about superheroes, the actors we would like to see come back and portray them again in new sequels. All of that, so much more. It's just Brian and I, the two-man power trip. So, with that said, let's start the show.
All right. Test.
Test.
Call it again?
Convincing Idiots.
Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got to hold poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Awesome.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean, the Zennial,
I'm Brian Gen X.
and the silence you hear after that is Nicholas.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas is under the weather.
Yeah, I mentioned to you, Dean. I'm as I'm the oldest. I have to get weird vaccinations that you guys haven't had to get yet. So I got a shingles second dose shot last evening. It's kind of throwing me for a bit of a loop today. But Nick got a shot of testosterone. He gets that monthly. Yeah. So Robin and Sis, his wife, your sister. So just kind of knocking him for a loop a little bit today. A little bit too high of a dose, I think he said, something like that.
He's not used to. I mean, last time he had that much testosterone in him, it wasn't his.
Right. See?
So
starting out of the gate.
That's
man.
right.
That's good.
That's
All right.
So now it is just you and I, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Two-man
sir.
power trip right here.
That's right. So I will have to do the millennials job here again and remind you what we are and where we can be found and all that stuff. So we are the Convincing Idiots podcast. We're a podcast of three friends from three generations who get together weekly and discuss all things pop and nerd culture, whatever the hell we want to talk about. You can find us out there wherever you listen to podcasts. You might be listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, etc. Wherever you listen to podcasts, call up the Convincing Idiots podcast and give us a follow or subscribe. You can also hear us on your smart speaker. Just simply ask your speaker to play the Convincing Idiots podcast, and she will even do that for you.
You were listening.
Yes.
Give us a rate and review.
Yes, absolutely. Rate, review, please, especially on Apple Podcasts. Helps others find the show. Share us with friends. We appreciate that as well. You can watch our videos. We have video episodes on our YouTube channel at Convincing Idiots. You can also see some videos as well on the Boss Code Media TV network. Find them on your portable device or smart television. Give the app a download and subscribe. And we're on there with other creative content, including our brother podcast that came from Gen X that I'm on with Keith and Skinner. Again, if you do anything at all, like you said, Dean, share, follow, subscribe, tell a friend. Helps others find us. All social media can be found in two main places. Our Linktree page is simply Google Linktree Convincing Idiots. It's simply a page with links to our social media, etc. And our website, if you go one place, go there, convincingidiots.wordpress.com. All show information's there. Links to current episodes and videos, bios, our merch store, ways to sponsor the show if you're so inclined to throw us a couple bucks and let Nick get more testosterone shots and stuff like that.
Yeah, those aren't
keep
cheap.
Robin happy. No, they're not. No. It's like it was like either this year, get the boys new school clothes or keep the shots going. And Nick said, no, sorry. What you have is it almost fits from last year, so I got to
they'll
keep.
Be fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Little floods or that's fine. They can adjust. Yeah. So that's it.
Either
So,
you get a new pair of shoes, or I end up in a dress. You have to weigh it back and forth.
That's right. Balance, the family priorities and so forth. Yeah. So. So that's us. That's where you can find us. So we appreciate that. So, Dean, anything new with you, sir, over the past week? Anything you care to share with our listeners and viewers, sir? Go ahead.
Sure. Well, first of all, if you're watching on YouTube, you might see I'm distracted. The Browns game is behind the camera here, so I'm keeping an eye on preseason. And the Eagles just scored. The Eagles just scored, so
preseason means nothing.
Yeah, neither does the regular season. So this past weekend, we took the kids up to Put-in Bay.
I saw that. It looked nice. A nice time. Yeah,
it was very cool. I'd never been.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of a last minute. Hell, they woke me up. Megan and Nora woke me up to say, "Hey, do you want to go to Put-in Bay?" I'm like, "Sure, why not? Let's do it." It was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of cool things. You got to see butterfly kind of captivity thing. There's there's some mazes. We got to see a few caves.
Mm-hmm.
Got to go into a couple different caves. But like I said, I've never been, so you have to take a ferry over there.
Yes.
To get to it. And
I think you can drive now too. I think they have an underwater tunnel, I think now too, but the ferry is the popular way to go, which is interesting.
Is that real?
Experience. I think so.
Huh.
I think so. At least they were building it. At least in my head, they were building it. I thought they had it done, but the ferry is a popular route to go. Certainly,
we
enjoy
took the ferry.
that ride. Mm-hmm.
And so on the way back, right? There's this. So we're standing on the rail, watching the water go by. We're on the bottom part, and Nora is to my. It's Megan's daughter. She is to my left, and Carter's to my right. And this older couple comes walking up, and just kind of invades her space, like encroaches upon her personal space. So she gets weirded out and kind of. So I put her around and put her on the other side, and then this guy kind of gets like really up close to me. So, and it's one of those where now I have the opportunity to either walk away or not. Well, out of principle, I'm standing my ground. I'm not moving. I'm going to play chicken with this guy. My hands are on the rail. He puts his hands on the rail where like they're touching mine.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Again, playing chicken. I'm not moving. He would pull his hand up, like brush his hair back or whatever, and then put it right back next to mine. He had played it. So it's not like he was out of room either for his hands.
This a younger guy?
No, older guy. Older. I believe he was like Indian American. Not Native American, but like you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From the country. And like he puts it back and after the fourth time, I dart my eyes down to it. And that's when I can tell he quickly moves his hand over. So he knew what he was doing. It was very strange.
Was he hitting on you?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
It's strange.
Was he trying to hold my hand? And I can tell like out of peripheral, I can see Megan kind of laughing. because you can see what's going on. It's
That's
just strange.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
So yeah, so we get to go to Put in Bay, and I get to hold hands with an old man. So
Nice.
You know.
Yeah.
what about you?
Let's see. What did I do this past weekend? So Allie and I tried to go see live music on Friday, a Led Zeppelin tribute band downtown Akron. Unfortunately, got rained out.
Yeah.
But we still had a great time going out to some local breweries in the Akron area and stopped at Magic City. It's where I got this hat here. So Nick has the same hat. It's Magic
Your
City
local-
Brewery.
Nice.
Yes,
Very
absolutely.
nice.
Drink local, support your local brewery. So that was fun. And let's see here. Saturday, we went out to a family dinner with Allie's family, and Allie and I went out and enjoyed ourselves. So that was just nice quality time on the weekend. Sunday, went out with Mom, took her to dinner, took her out to sushi dinner on Sunday. So that was really nice. And as I commented to you guys as well, and you're kind enough to send some notes to my daughter as well. But exciting times for my family. My daughter Peyton is very proud of her. She's graduating college from Kent State University this weekend officially.
Very nice.
She is graduating with a graphic design degree. Art was always something of a passion of hers since she was a little girl. And she elected to pursue something creative, which I'm so happy she did. And she just accepted a full-time offer this past Friday, and she'll be starting on the 28th. So good offer, great benefits, seemed like a nice place to work locally.
Very good.
She is obviously very happy. So this Saturday we're going to...
Well, one of you two had to be successful.
That's right. Yes, there's somebody in her family did, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're gonna meet up at Sarah's Vineyard, local winery, and have a nice lunch and some wine Saturday to celebrate and just enjoy ourselves on Sunday. It's gonna be really nice. So I'm looking forward to that.
Very nice.
Yeah. So that's it. Other than that, just back to work this week and disc golf and vaccinations and rescheduled tattoo appointments, and that's it.
You are living the dream, my friend. Living the dream.
Trying, man. All right. Well, why don't we get into some idiot reviews? Have you watched or anything you wish to recommend over the past week?
I
If
actually
not,
haven't.
that's okay. Okay.
Nope. I've been able to see anything besides the Browns losing right now.
Yeah. Well, get ready for that.
Yep.
I watched Painkiller. So this is a new series that just dropped on Netflix, starring Matthew Broderick as the head of the Sackler Corporation. So you might know the Sackler family. You might ring a bell. This is the family that sold OxyContin. So the Purdue company, which obviously resulted in many unfortunate addictions and death for the opioids. And it kind of tells the story of the rise of the family and the company to their fall and kind of what happened there. And, really they got at
Real
the end of the
sacks
day,
of shit.
they are terrible,
Yeah.
horrible. I mean, obviously, there's different sides to different stories, but it's really hard to position the Sackler family as really a family who was trying to help people legitimately.
Correct.
I don't know. Maybe they tried to convince themselves of that. They certainly did portray that in the movie, but at the end of the day, there were, I'm sure there were strategies as the movie kind of portrayed, and, you can't, if people we can't help addicts. We prescribe it through doctors. They should be under a doctor's care. If they follow the instructions, they should be okay. Obviously, with a high risk of addiction. And one thing, it's like a 6-series series. One thing that made it extra powerful is at the beginning of every episode, they had an actual parent or parents who lost a child due to addiction of OxyContin. So they kind of give you an introduction of, this has been a fictionalized story, a little bit, this and that and the other. And they all say, but what is true is that I lost my son or daughter or something like that. And they say a little something about their child. It's so heartbreaking, but it really makes it the story that much more powerful. So, good job for the producers to incorporate that message. And, certainly good job for those brave parents to, step up there on camera. And I'm sure it's very, very difficult for them to speak to their children. Certainly some get emotional. So really, really powerful, really, really well done. So yeah, definitely worth a watch. I zipped through that in just a couple of days, binged it. So very powerful stuff. Painkiller on Netflix.
Painkiller. All right.
And I started watching, Dean, the new season of Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. So I'm 2 episodes
I got to
in.
get on that.
Good stuff. So good. If you like the last 2 seasons, it picks right up. The cast, Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez play so well together. Paul Rudd's in this. Just excellent. So far, so good after a couple episodes. A lot of fun. So check that out.
Okay.
Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. That's it. That's what I got, sir.
All right. Well, then, see, without Nick chiming in here, it throws the whole rhythm and timing off. I mean, we got through that, like nobody's business, right?
That's right. That's right.
So if you're watching on YouTube, I think it's probably more appropriate that we just we start to get naked. That way we kill some time, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So come back after the break and you see what we may or may not have removed.
That's right.
And hang with us. So we're going to come back and talk about some pop culture headlines. We have more news about the Barbie movie and new accomplishments made with that, and some other things. And we're going to get into our Ask an Idiot question of the week. We're going to talk about some conspiracy theories this week, Dean. Current ones in social media, and some that we find very strange over the years. Go ahead.
I'm looking forward to this because I actually don't know what the question is this week, and it's similar to one I almost texted you.
Very good.
Earlier today. So I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. And we hope you're looking forward to it out there as well. Hang with us, and we'll be right back after the break.
You back. You're coming back in 5, 4, 3.
All right, welcome back to Convincing Idiots. 2-man show tonight.
2-man power trip right here.
That's right. So Nick is recovering, and Zennial Dean and I are plugging away again this week. Dean, the Barbie movie, pop culture headlines here. The Barbie movie again makes pop culture headlines here. So we talked about last week. Barbie achieved a rare feat of getting over the $1 billion mark. It's only one of 52 movies that's achieved that level, and the first one by a single female director in Greta Gerwig. So huge. Since that time, it has now become the highest grossing Warner Brothers domestic release. So that means it has now surpassed Batman back in '89. So the film surpassed. No, I take that back. Not even Batman. It's The Dark Knight. Forgive me.
The Dark Knight. Yeah, that's right.
Yes. So that movie generated $536 million in 2008. So domestically, Barbie has now topped $537 million. So worldwide, over $1 billion. Domestically, 537, which is now topped to The Dark Knight. So huge hit for Warner Brothers.
Good for them.
Yeah, needless to say. So, I mean, obviously, you get to adjust for inflation, blah, blah, whatever. That's fine. But still, I think it's pretty cool. And there's also some talk out there in social media, Dean, where people hope that the studio recognizes why the movie is popular. It's not because it's a movie about a doll and a toy. It's because it's a movie made by women for women, telling a women's perspective story
Sure.
That's what a lot of people are saying on social media as well. So they hope that they recognize that and don't just try to churn out these toy movies, which they're planning, and try to recapture the same magic. So I guess we'll see. So, any thoughts on the Barbie accomplishment, Dean?
It's good to see. Good to see it. I'm obviously I'm happy for them. When it comes out in streaming, I plan on watching it.
Yes, absolutely.
There's quite a few of those movies that I didn't get to in the theater that I intended to. That's one of them. Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep it going. We talked about previously, Dean, that Montana, the state of Montana, was attempting to ban TikTok and other social media apps. So if you have, that's a few episodes back, you can find that out there on prior podcast episodes if you want to hear more about that. New York City has just recently announced a ban of TikTok as well on government-owned devices this past Wednesday.
That makes sense.
It does make sense. So they have employees who have a government-owned device have to delete the app by, I don't know, the next few days or something like that. So obviously, not everybody likes that, but again, they're not asking you to ban it on your personal device. You kind of do that at your own risk. Personally, I think it's okay if it's a business or government issued device. There should be some type of protocols of what you're allowed to have, even Facebook and stuff like that. Because so you're not viewing social media that is not necessarily work related or productive. Right. There's firewalls. I have a firewall in my laptop. I can't get onto every social media app, nor should I be able to when I'm supposed to be working. Right. So.
Right. Luckily, you have your good boy laptop and your naughty boy laptop.
That's right. Exactly. The naughty boy one, I'm still trying to get the open. Dean, I've been able to open that in 3 years.
That's because it's stuck.
Yeah.
It's all sticky and it's stuck closed.
I'm trying Googon, and it's a long story. We'll talk about that another segment or something like that. But so you already kind of said, are they in the right? Is there a problem with this?
Businesses have a right, if they're going to give you a phone or give you a laptop or give you something like that, a device, they have the right to choose what is being seen on it. But I also don't think that it's 100% just that. I think this fear that the Chinese government is able to spy on us through this app, I think that has a lot of fears. And again, like we said in the past, I don't know if that's true or not. If it is true, more power to the if you have a government phone, more power to you. Yep. To ban that if it's true. I don't know if it is, but fuck it.
Yeah, it feels like what an ingenious invention by the government if they really are stealing information, people just willingly giving it away, and hey, just give me some fun videos and I'm cool. Whatever. You can have.
But they're stealing shit no matter what. They're stealing our thoughts and our ideas. And when I say thoughts, I'm not being conspiratorial here. What I'm talking about is the idea of if you type in anywhere, backpacks. Oh, I need a backpack. You send that text to your mom. Guess what ads you're going to see next time you get on social media?
Absolutely.
So
write your algorithm. It's really fascinating. Just ads on websites pop up and your Facebook. We've
all been there where we've been talking to somebody in the same room as your phone.
Yeah.
And next time you get on, it's the ads for whatever you were talking about.
Yep.
So it is an evil that we've all agreed to just accept.
Yep. That's right. You got to be extra disciplined in many respects these days on all that stuff. All right. Okay. This caught my eye today, Dean. So
Me?
I of course, you always catch my eye. Yeah, I go back and watch episodes all the time. I used to watch them on the laptop I can't open anymore, but
a lot of this makes sense now.
Yeah. So Bradley Cooper, I don't know if you've heard this or not. Bradley Cooper is going to be starring in a movie called Maestro, where he'll be
I've heard about this.
the Jewish conductor Leonard Bernstein. Right. What's making a lot of news, though, is that somebody decided, Bradley Cooper himself or somebody on the production set, that Bradley Cooper is wearing a fake nose, a prosthetic nose to make his nose bigger.
Okay.
Not unlike a lot of Leonard Bernstein had a bigger nose. It's not a stereotype. I mean, it just so happens that Jewish people tend to have larger noses. I mean, it's not trying to make fun of anybody. However, a lot of people are taking offense to him wearing a prosthetic nose and calling this quote unquote Jew face. Also, some people, and we've heard this with other acting roles, casting as well, where some people question, why can't they find an actual Jewish actor to play the role of a Jewish person? Now, you've heard this with other, Latinos and different things.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Is it are people out of line to question this? Are people allowed to? Go ahead, please.
It's two parts to it. Let's start with the prosthetic nose, right? If Salma Hayek played Frida, right? Does everybody know that she did not actually have a unibrow? That was a prosthetic. There's a lot of actors, and throughout the history from the stage to the screen, has used prosthetics to transform the appearance. I don't think it was done maliciously.
Mark Wahlberg and Boogie Nights, Dean. We talked about that recently.
Right.
Spoiler
alert, that's not his dick. So that argument to me is silly. Now, the moving on to the next argument of getting actors to play ethnicities or whatnot that are not theirs. Again, they've been doing it since Shakespeare. Every female lead, when Shakespeare was alive in that time period, all the female leads were played by men. Women were not allowed to be actors. So it's, they had to use men. They've been doing this since the beginning of acting, right? Now, the one part of the argument that I can at least understand is when they say, well, why couldn't you have got, this type of person to play that role? I get that argument. Okay, I'll listen to that. But that's not on the actor. They're getting a part that they're hired for.
That's right.
So they have to do, they do the role that they're hired for. So yeah, if that second part is a little stickier, because I get the argument. I don't know if I agree with it, but I at least understand it. Go ahead.
No, I can see that perspective. And it may carry more weight, perhaps, if you have an actor who is, maybe it's an unknown. I don't know. If it was just a run-of-the-mill sort of actor that they're putting a prosthetic nose on or whatever, and the performance is not the best, or something like that, and you had an opportunity, and maybe everyone's available. I mean, who the hell knows, right? Maybe they tried, but Bradley Cooper's no pushover. I mean, the man is an Oscar-nominated actor. Right?
If I remember the story correctly, Bradley Cooper is the one who got this. I think he wrote it, or he's producing it. Like he got this.
He co-wrote it. You're exactly right. Co-wrote it.
So
and produced and directed it.
Right. So this isn't where he's like, well, let me get in on that. No, he loves this story. He wanted that. He wanted to put that story out to all of us.
Right.
And he's going to do the role. I mean, he has every right, being the producer, director. If you don't like that, well, don't go watch it.
Right.
Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody's up there trying to purposely make fun of 100%. Somebody's appearance or something like that, okay, obviously, whole other level. And there's movies in the past that certainly older movies, it was like, that was, clearly racist and this and that and the
Sure.
other. It would never fly today, but he's not trying to make fun of anybody.
No,
You know,
no, I think I think the criticism upon him in this movie is unwarranted, in my
Sure.
opinion.
Sure. And you can argue, say, certainly, if you would like to have a Jewish actor in a movie about a famous Jewish person, write it, produce it, direct it, put whoever you want in it.
Sure.
If not, then keep quiet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. Well, I'm interested in this movie. I'll check it out certainly when it comes around. I like Bradley Cooper, and I think he's going to do a fine job and present the role, I'm sure, with dignity and class and honor the man. I'm sure all that's
Right.
is what
And
it's
that's
intended
that's
here.
the important part of that right there.
Exactly. Okay. Okay. I just saw this or not. This is sort of a crossover between sports news and pop culture news. Michael Oher. Have you seen this? Have you heard the
Yes.
name?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So the two Oys or whatever. So the movie Blindside,
Yes.
from 2004, right? Presented on the papers. No, the movie was in 2000. It was later than that. Sorry, it was based on the 2006 release of the book. But anyway, Sandra Bullock was in this movie, won an Oscar for Best Actress. A lot of people did see the movie. Basically, it's if you don't know for some reason, it's a story of a family that it's a white family brought in a young black kid from the foster system. The kid became a football star and rose to stardom, played for the Baltimore Ravens in the pros, and actually won a Super Bowl while playing for the Ravens. He is now coming out of nowhere and basically saying that the family never adopted him, that he signed some type of a conservatorship that allowed, when he was 18, that he was sort of misled, and the family was able to do business dealings on his behalf with that permission. And this movie made a lot of money, basically, and he claims he got no royalties, even though the kids of the family did. The biological kids of the family did. So, making a lot of news right now. So I'm sure it's looking like it's probably going to go to court, and he's probably seeking some type of a settlement of some sort. But a very strange story. Now the family has since come out also and said that this is all unfortunate. If they want to sign anything to cancel anything, that's certainly fine. But they don't really say they didn't do it, that I can gather, that I've heard just yet. So, what do you think about all this, Steve? Go ahead.
They have stated that the family claims that they did give him money for it.
Okay, I missed that part. Okay.
The idea of the conservatorship opposed to the being adopted, he always assumed, and this is his argument, he always thought he was adopted. It come to find
why
out.
would you not think that as a kid? I guess you might think so as a kid,
Right? And it come to find out, him and his lawyer were going over stuff, looking for something, and that's where he discovered that he was never actually adopted, and that it was actually a conservatorship and not an adoption. So that's his argument, is like he was bamboozled, he was tricked, he was whatever, because he thought that these were his adopted parents, but it turns out it never was the case.
Well, shame on this family if they did indeed purposely mislead a kid. Now, you certainly can argue as well that would this kid have had the same opportunities wherever he was in the foster system to play football and rise to stardom and make probably millions in the NFL? You could certainly argue probably not. So certainly he was put in a nice environment and able to do something with his life that he may have not been able to do and make some money and all that type of stuff. But however, if they purposely misled this kid in any way,
misleading is misleading, regardless of what else that they had given him. If he was led to believe one thing, and the fact that, like, the story of The Blind Side, I mean, it's his story.
That's true. Yes,
if you didn't get shit for your story, I'd be pissed.
Exactly. Yeah. There was one person if there was people who should have got money for that, it was the people directly involved in the story, which is him and those parents, if anybody.
And the parents did get paid.
Yes. Crazy. Well, Dean, that is not a conspiracy theory. That is facts.
Mm-mm. That is
Right.
facts.
However, there is some new conspiracy theories out there around social media. It's really fascinating what people come up with. So I know you haven't heard this yet here, so I just caught this today.
By all means.
Some people believe. Now you heard about the horrible, terrible Maui wildfires that's been raging. It raged through Hawaii.
Yes.
It's killed at least 100 people. Unfortunately, there's 1,000 people still missing. So I'm sure the death toll, unfortunately, is going to rise. So it was just a horrible. It's the worst national fire in many, many, many years, as far as
horrible
destruction and death and everything like that. So around all this tragedy, you have people who are looking for opportunities to make it some type of a conspiracy theory. So some people are claiming that the fires were caused by a secret energy weapon.
What?
So, so there's a conspiracy about energy weapon. The one that predominantly is spreading on X, former Twitter.
Sure, of course.
It showed an image that some incorrectly claimed was Maui. In reality, the image shows a flare set off on a controlled burn in Canton, Ohio, in 2018.
Right in our backyard.
That's right. So, first of all, I want your thoughts on this conspiracy theory, first of all.
Well, I'm going to, I will give my thoughts while you take a drink of water.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm drying out here. I apologize.
No, it's just stupid. First of all, if you start your conspiracy theory with a video that has nothing to do with it, like incorrect information right off the bat, you lose credibility.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I enjoy a good conspiracy theory as much as the next guy. If they're true or not, it's fun to see the wacky shit that people, like you said, can think of. Mm-hmm. This is silly. The one actually conspiracy theory I thought, or I had heard, is like people listed all these celebrities' homes that didn't get burned. So what's going on with that? All these celebrities, their houses are safe. And one of the guys called out Obama. I said, Barack Obama's house, it didn't get burnt down, and everybody else did. What happened? And the response correctly was, because his house is on another island in Hawaii. Hawaii is made up of multiple islands. So that shows you the lack of knowledge it takes to start something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just stupid. Yeah.
Another lesson, like we learned with prior, January 6th, et cetera, it's easy to rile up dumb people, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now,
so
don't get me wrong.
Go ahead, please.
No, go ahead. Because there's something actually. No, you do it, because to finish my statement, I have to look up something. Go ahead.
Well, this will get into our Ask an Idiot question of the week here, too, and you can certainly talk more about the Maui conspiracy theory, too, but there's been a lot of crazy conspiracy theories over the years. So in our Ask an Idiot segment here, I'm interested to know, what are one or some of the most ridiculous conspiracy theories? This could be one of them.
Honestly, when I was telling you about it, that is the question I was honestly going to text you today.
There you go. We had the same
because
thought.
I was listening to a podcast. I can't remember what it was, and she was reading off this conspiracy that McDonald's is part of the Illuminati. It was the most absurd thing. Like, it was funny. Like, and the person reading it even said, "This is silly." You have to, any conspiracy theory, you have to at least start with facts or back up with facts or do some research on your own while listening to this stuff. And she clearly didn't believe it. She was just reading it as a funny story. But there's a comedian, I can't remember his name right now, but he has a joke I heard on Instagram the other day. And he said, all these people that, and I'm butchering it, I'm paraphrasing here, but all these conspiracy theories, the people that say, I don't believe in any of these conspiracy theories. He goes, You're telling me the government is telling you the truth 1,000% of the time?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, okay, well, all right, that's a good point. And he goes, I only have one kid to deal with, and they have the government has all these people to deal with, and I lie to my son all the time. So, again, something like that, but very funny. But it's a good point. Is all of these conspiracy theories are not all of them, but a lot of them are on the side of ridiculous. But there are some that are believable. There are some that I believe.
Okay, so let's get into that a little bit. What are some of that you may believe,
Oh,
and what are some that you think are just crazy, ridiculous, and no way?
well, McDonald's being a part of the Illuminati, I do not believe in. That might be the most silliest thing I've ever heard. The one I do believe in wholeheartedly is the John F. Kennedy assassination.
How so?
Just all the evidence that I have, read up on and heard about and watched videos and whatever research or whatever you could possibly do, and all the information that's come out, I find it. I do not believe that one lone gunman killed the president that day.
Yeah.
The science is not there. I don't know who did it. I couldn't tell you. There's a lot of theories, but I do not believe that one lone gunman, and then 2 days later he's killed by a dying man who takes that to his grave. Come on. So that's my number one.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I agree with you there as far as a one that I do buy into. One of the craziest one is fairly recent. The whole QAnon thing is fascinating.
Yes.
Fascinating. And it sounds like somebody was out there and just, it feels like I'm just going to see how far I could take this and how crazy.
Did you ever see the documentary?
I have not seen the documentary.
On HBO. It's crazy. I think the guy does pretty good at finding out who actually started QAnon.
Okay.
You have to watch it. I think it's on HBO or something like that.
I'll look that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just what people believe in with that conspiracy theory is just so unbelievably strange. And not only are you going to, replace a former president and all that, that's one thing, but when you're getting into things like the dead son, John F. Kennedy Jr. is going to return. He's not really dead.
People showed up on Dealey Plaza in Dallas, Texas, on that day that he was supposed to return and waited for John F. Kennedy Jr. to appear.
Wow.
It is insane.
And again, you wonder if people are just like stepping back, putting this stuff out there and laughing and seeing what they can get people to do.
Sure,
it's really
absolutely.
And dangerous.
Yes.
Frankly.
Well, January 6th is a proof of that.
Right. So that's the first one that came to mind as far as it's a crazy, nutty one. Do you have any other ones that come to mind that you buy into a little bit or just as crazy to you? Anything else?
Government and UFOs, baby.
Sure.
I 1,000% believe that the government knows about UFOs and has some in their possession from previous crash sites and whatever. 1,000%. There is again, evidence can be faked. Different videos can be fake doctored, but there's some, especially just recently, with the government releasing them themselves and then having the hearings. The government knows and has these crafts and or beings with them. So, and some of the stories are wild that you can dismiss, like that Eisenhower met with aliens, right? And if you ever heard that story, that's fun. I'm on the verge of kind of believing that. Maybe more of that I want to believe that because that's such a fantastical story and it explains everything else going forward from that point. So I don't know. That's fun. So I enjoy the alien conspiracy theories.
I buy into that as well. I mean, certainly it's, I'm sure that the government has more information than they've let on. No question about it. And we've talked about it on prior episodes as well. And we'll talk more. We'll get my friend, physicist Tim back on here, TAF, I think we called him. To talk more about that. But without question, I'm sure they have they're releasing information out there a little by little to not flip everybody out and kind of test the waters.
Sure,
I could buy into that. I could buy into that stuff. All right, okay. Anything else? Conspiracy theories, Dean?
Those are my two favorite ones. Some of the other ones just kind of like when you first hear any conspiracy theory is presented in such a way that's plausible upon first hearing it. Mm-hmm. Unless you're the McDonald's Illuminati theory, then immediately you're laughing, going, "This is bullshit." But the 9/11 that the government
that's another one. Yes, right.
Upon hearing it, you go, "Oh my god, is that real? Holy shit!" But then you take your logic brain, put it back on, and then listen to more of the facts and go, "Okay, I can understand what they're trying to get from that, but that's not what that is." That type of situation.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Right. I'm pretty sure the U.S. government did not purposely crash airlines into the World Trade Center in order to start a war with Iran.
Some of them are so silly, like the idea that those planes weren't even real, that they were holograms, and they went in. The holograms went into the building, and then they blew it up, and just, oh my god, it's just absurd.
Yeah, all the theories about how the buildings fell and how it wasn't possible.
Somebody said to pull them, meaning that's a term used when you're blowing up construction sites. That pull it and So stuff like that is just absurd.
I mean, fun ones for me are the small ones, like a certain, like Elvis is maybe alive and things like that. Those are fun. I don't believe it, but Elvis was actually alive. Michael Jackson was alive. I don't know.
Brian, did you watch Home Alone and see Elvis?
Yes.
Behind
in the
mother?
Airport.
Come on.
No, the bus terminal. Excuse me, the bus terminal.
Yeah, at the bus terminal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, real quick, I want to interrupt. Mm-hmm. Ron Funches is the comedian who did that bit.
Okay.
About the conspiracies. If you don't know who Ron Funches is, he is incredibly hilarious. Look him up, Google it, YouTube, whatever you need to do. Ron Funches is hilarious.
Okay. Very good. All right. Well, again, what is not a conspiracy theory is we're about to take a break.
Did you hear the conspiracy theory about Nick getting those shots? Oh, never mind. That's real. Never mind.
Yes,
anyway, what were you saying?
We're gonna take a break and we're gonna come back with our final segment this evening. We got to talking about superhero movie sequels that we would have liked to see. Now, these could have been. We'll explain it more in the next segment. So, superhero movie segments that we'd like to see, and we're going to talk about our ideas after the break.
Dun, dun, dun.
They're watching.
When you decide to step up to this kind of power, this kind of challenge, this kind of flying, crashing feeling, when you decide to get serious, there's only one place to come: the games of Super Nintendo. No one else creates this kind of experience, because no one else creates these kinds of games. Now you're playing with power, superpower.
Back in 5, 4, 3, 2.
And welcome back to Convincing Idiots, ladies and gentlemen. We have segment 3 of episode, what is this, 153?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Brian, this is your topic, your main event. Why don't you go ahead and explain exactly what we're doing here on this third segment?
Yeah, I saw some memes out there recently where it was like Andrew Garfield talking about, Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 3, and there's different rumors out there that they're going to pick up Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in their own universes and make more Spider-Man movies. Who knows if that's true or not? Somebody knows, but we don't. So it just kind of got me thinking on that topic.
Because we're idiots.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, literally. So are there superhero movie sequels, Dean, that you would like to see or have seen? Now, these could be...
Now,
go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to make sure, because I was doing my list here. Now, this is alive or dead? I mean, are we reanimating the corpse of Christopher Reeves here, or...
Yeah, just what would you have liked to have seen? If you were able to have any... again, just you can name a few, as many as you wish.
All right.
That you would have liked to have been able to see, but something happened. Whether they stopped the original storyline, an actor moved away from the role, someone passed away, whatever. So it could be a continuation of the original movie timeline, or it could be they bring back the franchise with actors. They've maybe they're a little older today, perhaps, and they kind of pick things back up where the original storyline ended, and that's a sequel in that way as well. So wide open, right? Mm-hmm. So that's it. So on that note, so do you have any that come to mind as far as sequels that you would have liked to have seen? Yes, maybe just do one at a time or something. However you want to.
Yeah, we'll do one at a time. I'm going to start. We can both cross this off our list and talk about it, because Michael Keaton as Batman is probably up there with you two, right?
That's on my list. Yes.
So they gave us a tease with this Flash movie, and it was good to see him. He looked cool. He still had that that edge to him, that Batman edge. So I would love to see a Michael Keaton Batman as he is today.
I agree. And certainly they could even put it in the timeline where, if you want, in the Flash movie, he didn't make it, but there's still a whole storyline where he got up to that point where he cleaned up the city, as he talked about in the Flash, and there's a whole storyline there. You could have some of the original villains from back then. You could maybe show...
And who's to say you can't say that because whatever Barry did at the end, when you saw everything and everybody, who's to say that didn't change that timeline and fix that to where he didn't die?
Well, that's true too. I mean, we could see Billy D. Williams as Two-Face, where they were maybe going to take him in that direction. Why not? Like, he's been Two-Face for several years or something like that. Jack Nicholson is still around as the older Joker. I like that a lot. That whole storyline is really intriguing. So, but maybe they'll see it. You never know. Maybe they'll. Who knows? Okay.
What about you? Where are you at?
I would have liked to have seen also in the Batman storyline. Now, I know you're not a fan of the Christian Bale Batman portrayal, but the Christopher Nolan trilogy I thought was pretty good. But the ending was not really the best, in my opinion. I mean, it is a nice ending in the sense of he does, he goes away with Catwoman and this and that, and then at the end of the movie, you may recall that they set up Robin with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's on the mantle of Robin. There's something there. I would have liked to have seen a fourth movie where Batman returns to Gotham to mentor Robin. And you could set that up very nicely. I think Christian Bale and Joseph Gordon-Levitt played well off each other a little bit in the time they had together in that movie. Mm-hmm. And you can sort of set that up to where now you have a future like Brave and the Bold type of thing where that's how the storyline ends. Batman is back in Gotham. Batman and Robin are there. Robin's going to take up the mantle in the future, but they're out there fighting crime. That's how things kind of fade out with that fourth movie. And then if you choose, you could end it there. I think
Sure.
wrap it up a lot more nicely. Or certainly they had an opportunity to, of course they did anyways, to make movies with Robin or Nightwing with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So give me that fourth Nolan movie at that time.
All right. I'm going to go. I mentioned him earlier. I would love to have seen, and in this scenario, Christopher Reeves is still alive.
Mhm.
Hadn't gotten the accident, where you could see what his acting chops would be as an older Superman.
Mhm.
You could get away from the campiness of the 80s movies and put him in more of a realistic Superman, an older Superman.
Mhm.
I think that would be very cool. I think he would have thrived in it. It would be cool to see. And he could have easily pulled it off. So, yeah, Christopher Reeves, as of today, reprising Superman.
I like that. I'm even thinking, what about even a sequel? We have the Kingdom Come graphic novel.
Mhm.
That's like an Elseworlds story of like an older, grizzled Superman and Batman.
Yep.
It's an alternate timeline, but the superheroes in that timeline have been banned, and a lot of people have powers, and they're running amok. And it takes the original Justice League to come back out of retirement as older people to kind of get things in order. I think that would have been an interesting storyline to see Christopher Reeve come back as that grizzled Superman. Yep. You could have had Keaton come back as that grizzled Batman.
Perfect.
In that as well. That'd be wonderful.
Absolutely.
Well.
What could have been?
Yeah. It's a shame. Not Christopher Reeve's fault.
No.
All those movies just got more and more ridiculous, and it would have been nice to have him go out with a better story,
80s.
to your point. Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to give you one. I'll stay with Superman for a minute. I'd like to see another Henry Cavill Superman movie. I thought the first two were
Let me check one off my list then.
Yeah.
That was
I loved him in that role.
Me too.
He just looked the part. He acted the part well. He just had terrible... a subpar at the very least writing. I think in those movies, a lot of crazy things. He did not deserve to have just sort of get blown out of that franchise as he did. Would have liked to had a good, solid Superman 3 movie with Henry Cavill. Then reboot the movies. The first again, they're okay. They're not like they're unwatchable, really, because of his performance is really key there, but. I don't know. Give me that third Cable Superman.
I think part of the problem with those ones is that they tried to start it from the beginning, so to speak. What they're about to do with this new Superman movie is they're getting away from this, talking about him coming down, and it's going to be in the middle of, like, he's already been Superman for years.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where Henry Cavill should have been put, is him already been Superman for years. Mm-hmm. That he's a little grizzled, he's a little worn, but he's still Superman at heart. Superman is not meant to be dark. If you read the comics, he is the aw shucks. That's why Christopher Reeves was so perfect in it, because he had that all shucks. Now, again, that writing was a little sketchy at times with the dialogue and Margot Kidder. But I think the idea of there's got to be a middle ground between Christopher Reeves and Henry Cavill, where it's not the all shucks totally, but it's also not the brooding, screaming because you killed somebody thing. You know what I mean? There's got to be somewhere in the middle. And I think Henry Cavill could have played that. He still can. I still think there's different from what the Flash did. I think there's opportunity to do many different versions of all these characters.
I agree. Why not? Actually, same idea.
Yep.
How about the you have the Kingdom Come idea, something
Henry
like
Cavill
that.
being that.
Henry Cavill, I said Cavill, excuse me. Ben Affleck as Batman.
Actually, other than you and me, I don't know if I've heard many people actually pronounce it. I just read it a lot, so that's just my interpretation of how it's pronounced.
Okay. Well, if we're mispronouncing, we apologize.
One of us is right.
Well, that's right. Bring back Gal Gadot as one, so that they could come back in that alternate universe. To your point,
Give it 5 years where they
Yeah.
are a little more grizzled, a little older.
I like the idea a lot. It doesn't have to be the Kingdom Come necessarily, but there's plenty of storylines in
But
an
in that
alternate
vein,
universe. Yeah, because DC already has the different Earths. They have the infinite Earths, Earth 1, 2, 3, blah blah blah,
Yep.
and there's different versions of superheroes.
and the Flash showed it.
Yes, that's right.
So you easily could do that. And again, you don't have to be dark with him. He
Right.
could still be old and grizzled and still be a wholesome guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think and I know I could go down in a rabbit hole, and I feel like I'm going to, but I think that you could easily get. Well, what the problem was, one of the problems with the Superman in the story that we just saw is what they did to his dad, like the how they killed his dad off, and like I don't know, it was a bad start. It was.
Oh, you mean Mr. You think? Clark, Mr. Clark or Mr. Kent? Excuse me, Mr. Kent. Excuse me. Yeah. That was weird.
It was weird. Like it brought a bad taste. It was a bad start to everything. So
yeah,
and that's where the brooding started.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was a drifter, and okay, no, that's not how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I agree with you, Henry Cavill. You could easily do that. Not even reboot. You just continue the story from that universe.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. They've been in that alternate universe forever, and that's just what it is.
Because
to whatever, it's infinite.
Not a lot of people. If you don't understand this, people, Superman's not real, so he's not in this universe. There could be any amount of universes.
That's right.
Because the one in real life, he doesn't exist, people.
That's right.
These are stories. Let's make them stories.
That's right. Absolutely. Good. How about I would like to have seen, we had a very quick moment in the Avengers movie, Captain America, Chris Evans, goes back in time to replace all the Infinity Stones.
Right.
And then he pops back up and he's an old man. And then, of course, at the end, he goes back in time and so forth. There's a whole movie, something there in itself. Seeing Chris Evans go back as Captain America again. Yeah, what all happened?
Do you think he just stayed out of it? No, he was Captain America in the shadows.
Right.
Ooh, that's not a bad concept. Captain America in the shadows, being kind of like a Batman type crime fighter. And then you find out that some of the stuff that like the Avengers like did, maybe you find out that the version of Captain America was kind of behind the scenes, couldn't reveal himself, so like he was doing shit and fighting the secret wars the whole time. I like that.
There's something there.
Yeah,
something there. I'm not saying I dislike Anthony Mackie's. That it's going to be good. I mean, I like him. And
well, you don't have to ruin the storyline at all.
You don't. Nope. Do not. The Falcon takes on the mantle for a while. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Right. But yeah, give me more Chris Evans as Captain America.
Yep.
Any other ones, Dean?
All right. Yeah, I have a few here.
Go ahead.
I want to see the actors. Chip Zine and Ed Gale. Chip Zine did the voice, and Ed Gale was the body of Howard the Duck. I just enjoyed the performance so much that I would like to see a continuation of it.
Now they have teased the character. He has made appearances in various.
I don't want CGI. I want Ed Gale in the suit. with Chip Zien as the voice.
Mm-hmm.
Leah Thompson, what's she doing? She can come back.
Yeah, she's still around. Looks great. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see a sequel of the original Howard the Duck.
No more duck sex, though, please. Don't. We've seen enough of that.
First of all, mind your own business. You can keep your opinions to yourself. Not everything has to be said. Maybe some of us like the duck sex scene. Maybe it made our childhood wieners do stuff. You don't know, So I say more duck sex, the better.
You need to look this up, and I have some of the books as well. Dean, we could look up, but I'm sure it's out there in graphic novel form as well. But a very interesting Howard the Duck storyline. Okay, now they've made different Marvel Zombies stories. Okay, I love the Marvel Zombies. If they've teased it some with the What If series. There's actually going to be a series of Marvel Zombies coming out, an animated series coming out on Disney Plus. That's in development, is my understanding, right? But it's an alternate storyline. Sure. The Marvel heroes become zombies. It goes crazy. It's really fascinating. Then they have still some of the internal struggles of they know that they're doing wrong and they're trying to fight the hunger, blah 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 blah. But they've had different storylines of the Marvel zombies in different timelines and other things. There was a storyline, Dean, where I don't know if you know the character Machine Man.
I do not. I'm not familiar.
That's okay. He was not unlike sort of a RoboCop type character, sort of in the Marvel universe, right? So he was an android man type of thing. But
really got creative on that name.
Yeah. But it was Machine Man and Howard the Duck led some type of fighting force effort in whatever galaxy timeline this was to go hunt zombies in the superhero type zombies. So it was one of the rare prominent Howard the Duck storylines in the comics that I've seen in some time. I bought that years ago. So that is out there. That could be an idea for a movie right there. Take Howard the Duck and put him in an interesting storyline.
Yep.
Right.
As long as he's fucking Leah Thompson, I'm in.
Well, and he's kicking ass and everything else, So I don't know. Okay, I can buy into it.
All right.
Salvage the craziness of the first movie a little bit for me. I like that. Well, I already mentioned at the beginning of the segment here about us, saying both at the same time. I'd like to see, and I'm wearing the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man shirt here. Give me another Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man movie in that universe, fighting those villains, and give me another Tobey Maguire in that universe. And there's rumors that they're making these, that they're in development in his universe as the older Spider-Man growing up.
Yep, I like that.
And you could do a lot with that character as well. You could certainly have, maybe he married Mary Jane. In the comics, there's a storyline where they've had a daughter that has spider powers, the Spider Girl. You could introduce Spider Girl, perhaps, in that particular universe if you want to.
And why can't you occasionally have them be able to talk to each other somehow, some way?
Why not?
The Madam Web and the way the spider across the Spider-Verse they're all connected some way. Have a way where almost like a vacation home for Spider-Man.
I like that a lot. I mean, they know each other exists now. They've introduced that concept fully, so I like that a lot. And then you can still team them up again in other universes as well.
Those two dynamic of like their chemistry was fantastic.
So good.
Actually, I would be okay with even taking. Again, I want this to happen, but I also don't even need Spider-Man. I'd like to see those two in like a kind of a dry comedy together.
Sure.
Like those two actors really played well off each other.
Yeah, they definitely did. Yeah, so more Tobey Maguire and more Andrew Garfield. Again, the rumor is that Sam Raimi is going to come back and do Spider-Man 4 with Tobey. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Speaking of, let me give you my next pick. Sam Raimi's 1990 Liam Neeson-led Darkman.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Liam Neeson as Darkman, Sam Raimi at his finest.
I didn't realize it was Sam Raimi.
Yep. Bruce Campbell was in it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think Liam Neeson is such a badass.
Mm-hmm.
that I thought that could have been a franchise situation. Probably, probably tanked enough in the box office, or maybe in the 80s they weren't so trigger happy with sequels. You know what I mean? Oh, it made this much money. We have to go into it. They're like, okay, no, it did great for us. Moving on. But as a kid, I remember it being a little scary, a little badass. You see what Liam Neeson does.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Sam Raimi is fantastic. I think you could bring Darkman back today, and you could. He's not part of the DC or MCU, but he could be. I don't know how you do that, but it was a badass character. I go Darkman.
You don't need to blend everybody either. You're right. You could have a separate storyline where they're in their own universe and timeline, and they're just doing their thing. You don't have to bring in all the heroes to blend necessarily. Gosh, I haven't seen that movie in so long. But yeah, you're right. In that era, they had some of those weird offshoot ones. They had Darkman. They had the Shadow. You might recall.
The Shadow was actually originally an audio production back in the 30s.
Yeah, the Shadow Knows.
The Shadow Knows.
Yeah. You had the Phantom, which was like a comic strip guy. Man. You know what? Actually, talking about that, maybe the movie's just better in my head. I haven't watched it in so long, so maybe it doesn't hold up as well. But I remember in that era liking The Rocketeer. That was like a comic.
Yes.
I would like to see another Rocketeer movie. I had
heard a rumor a couple years ago that was in development of doing another one, because Disney has the ride or some shit like that at their parks. So it's part of their whole deal. And I'd heard that there was a couple of different people attached. Could have sizzled out by now, but there was at one point talks of rebooting The Rocketeer.
I like that idea. You could continue in that era.
Yep.
You could recast the actor if you want to, maybe. I don't know. But or maybe the original actor is now the mentor or something. I don't remember who played the Rocketeer.
I don't either. Let's find out.
I want to say it was Timothy Dalton was in that movie, I think, the James Bond at the time.
I think he was the bad guy, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right.
Rocketeer 1991, so a year after
91. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Billy Campbell was the Rocketeer. Jennifer Connelly.
Right, Billy Campbell. Yep.
Yeah, Timothy Dalton was the bad
Alan
guy.
Arkin.
Yeah. Man. It's a good cast.
Wow. I kind of want to watch that again.
Yeah.
See if it holds up.
91. Holy crap. Whoosh. Man. Terry O'Quinn. So yeah, some good actors in that. Paul Sorvino.
So are we going to have some sort of fire in your backyard and do a do one last watch of horror movies in October?
Yeah. Absolutely. I'll coordinate it. I'll get that screen, and we could shift things around and set it up differently so we can have a fire and enjoy that and shoot but absolutely. Yes.
That'd be fun.
Movie night. Yeah, for sure. No question about it. Exorcist, some of the scary ones. I love the idea. Definitely do that. And it'll get darker earlier. We can start earlier. All that stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Which one where Jason beats the girls up with the suit in the sleeping bag? Can we watch that one?
Yes. That is one of the greatest bad horror movies of all time. That is Jason X. That's the one that goes in outer space as well. Yeah. Yes. Jason in space.
Oh my God. It's my favorite.
Yes. I love it. It's so bad.
That's the lead off.
It's good.
Or the main event, however you want to put it.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I just so crazy over the top, ridiculous. I love it. Yeah. Okay. I said The Rocketeer. Do you have any other ones?
I have one more. And again, I'm going it's not a comic book per se. It's not DC or MCU. Dolph Lundgren portraying He-Man was so awesome when I was a kid. I'm sure it doesn't hold up, but Dolph Lundgren was He-Man. He looked the part.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Again, I don't... Would it be neat to see an older He-Man? You know what I mean? I don't need him in this universe like they did in the movie where he comes to Earth and the portal type shit. Put him in his own universe. Let's see that, but let's see an older He-Man. I don't know.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I think.
Because he still looks good.
Oh yeah, he's in great shape. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but that's the concept of an older He-Man. He's ruling his kingdom for a while. Maybe Skeletor
Everything's
is
peaceful.
out of the picture.
He's
and
got a
Skeletor,
beard like Anthony Hopkins as Thor's dad, Odin. Yep.
That's interesting. And then Skeletor or somebody comes back out of nowhere and disrupts things again. He has to, get the sword out again, and
right.
This is an interesting concept.
He's a little rusty. Like he has to even though like he can transform a type deal, he still has to like remember how to be He-Man.
Yeah. I like that.
There's something there. I can do that.
Yeah. And you got like a fucking shingle shot the night before Skeletor comes.
Right.
You got to battle with that.
He loses his voice sometimes in the middle of sentences.
That's right. Kind of under the weather a little bit. I have the. Oh God.
Oh boy, that's sore. Well, if Dolph Lundgren is busy, we might come to you, Brian. I hope you're ready for the role.
Sure, I'll start stretching more.
Good.
Absolutely. Yep. I'll keep up with the vaccinations, get all that out of the way, and I'll just be ready.
Instead of He-Man, it's He-Man.
That's good. I like it.
Yep.
I like it. Yep.
I'm looking forward to all these movies.
Yeah, it is an interesting concept. I think that's what I had, Dean. We had some overlaps. I had the Keaton Batman. We talked about Henry Cavill. Yeah, so that's the main ones that anything else. You know what? I know one Nick would have said, I'm sure. So in honor of Nick, I'm going to say it. I'm sure it was going to be on his list. I'm sure Nick would like to see another Spawn movie.
Oh, I thought you were saying Jingle All the Way.
Well, that of course, you know. But I don't remember if there's any in development or not. But I know Nick really loved that.
I heard there
was based on the Todd McFarlane character, which is kind of an interesting, cool, very weird '90s movie. But Nick grew up with that movie. But so in honor of Nick, we'll say Spawn. Give us another Spawn movie. Why not? Yeah.
One more character, and Jingle All the Way.
That's right.
One more character that would, excuse me, got the burps. One character that I would love to see come back again is Aaron Blake, because like he does so well in insurance.
That's right.
Boys and girls, Aaron Blake. What can I say about this superhero? Blake Insurance is an Erie insurance agency located right here in Barberton, Ohio. They provide auto, home, renters, and business insurance with honesty, decency, and affordability. Erie Insurance is above all else in service. You want to call 234-571-5359 or visit BlakeInsuranceLLC.com for your free 5-minute quote today. And when you do, you just be at awe that you're speaking to a real life superhero.
That's right. Very good. And you know what? I just thought of one more Nick would like to recognize as well. I'm sure also made his list, but I don't know if the name rings a bell. Ronald Patrick Monahan. Do you remember that guy, that alias?
It's not ringing any bells.
He was known as Electric Man. I don't know if you remember the Electric Man or not.
Electric Man.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to need a little more.
Okay. Well, I would like to see him come back and make another movie based on his power was he was able to charge up devices that normally did not have electric power. And what he specialized in was charging up and turning normal bicycles, Dean, into electric bicycles.
Ooh, I'm going to have to look this guy up.
So the initials RPM, you can look him up out there.
Sure.
So you can look up RPM, named after him.
Wow.
Actually.
Okay.
RPM Bike Shop in beautiful Carrollton, Ohio. You can find them on Facebook at RPM Bike Shop. Give them a call also at 330-808-7792. And say you're looking for RPM, the Reginald, I forgot the name already, but that's okay. Just use the initials RPM, and they'll hook you up in honor of him, the Electric Man. in honor of a potential.
You shouldn't know his name,
Sequel.
actually. It's his alias.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. Exactly. And since we have no other creative way to do it that I can think of right now, I'm also going to mention our third sponsor, Golden Heart Tattoo in Norton.
Those two boys, now
That's
those are heroes.
That's right. Exactly.
They're doing
right.
the Lord's work right there.
They sure are. You can find them if you're in the Northeast Ohio area in Norton, Ohio. Find them on Facebook at Golden Heart Norton and ORTON. GoldenHeartTattoos.com online, or give them a call at 234-706-2982. Get yourself an appointment. Maybe get yourself a tattoo of a superhero coming back and making a sequel. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe get yourself a Howard the Duck tattoo. I don't know.
That's what I'm going to right on my butt cheek.
Yeah, that's a fine idea.
Scott, I'm coming.
That's right. Dean, we have done it.
Phew, boy, have we.
We have persevered without young Nick.
It was rough.
It was very rough.
We struggled at times, but I think we did it.
That's right. We struggled with content. We struggled with voices. We struggled with shingle shots.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
That's right. Several other things. But here we are at the end of yet another episode. So find us out there. Again, wherever you listen to podcasts, we can find on all major podcast platforms. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, etc. Give us a share, subscribe, follow, rate, review, all that good stuff.
Tell your grandma.
Tell your grandma. Find our videos out there. Get on our YouTube channel at Convincing Idiots or on the Boss Code Media TV network. All social media can be found in two main places: our Linktree page, Linktree Convincing Idiots, and again our website, Convincing Idiots at WordPress.com. No, sorry, I said at Convincing Idiots. See, messing up already.
Yep.
.wordpress.com. Excuse me, Nick.
It's hard being Nick.
It is. It's very hard. So, have we convinced you to come back with your own sequel and check us out again next week? That made no sense at all.
Nah, fuck it. It works.
Hi, this is Millennial Nick, along with Gen X Brian and Zennial Dean. Hey, if you liked that video, which we really hope you did, you should like and subscribe. That would be great.